Protect your DNA. BioPQQ can promote formation of new mitochondria. Infowarsstore.com.
You know, it was less than a week ago on Sunday morning that the Baton Rouge shooter, Gavin Long, targeted and assassinated police officers in a deadly ambush that left 3 officers dead and another 3 injured before he was shot and killed by a single marksman from 100 yards away. The surveillance photos recently released to the public show the killer carrying out his deadly attack on Baton Rouge police as they were cornered by a dumpster behind a beauty supply store before they were executed. The 3 police officers who were killed in this gutless and senseless rampage were Matthew Gerald, a former Marine who had only spent 1 year on the police force, Montrell Jackson, a new father and 10-year veteran of the force, and Brad Garofalo, married man, father of 4 children, who, by the way, went down fighting, firing his weapon till the end in the gun battle as he bravely attempted to save one of his fellow officers. The killer, before the rampage, Gavin Long, he posted a video on YouTube where he laid out his warped and delusional manifesto.
100% of revolutions of victims fighting their oppressors, from victims fighting their bullies, 100% have been successful through fighting back, through bloodshed. 0 have been successful just over simply protesting. It has never worked and it never will. You gotta fight back. That's the only way a bully knows to quit. He doesn't know words. He can't understand words, I promise you. He doesn't understand protests. If y'all want to keep protesting, do that. But for the serious ones, the real ones, the alpha ones, we know what it's going to take. It's only fighting back or money. That's all they care about. Revenue and blood. Revenue and blood. Revenue and blood. Nothing.
After he put that video up on YouTube, he made it perfectly clear on Facebook and Twitter that he was outraged over the death of this man, Alton Sterling, who had been recently killed by Baton Rouge police. And what followed was massive protest across the country, led by none other than Black Lives Matter. And we all know what happened next in Dallas. The first wave of retaliation had begun.
Don't shoot! Don't shoot! Don't shoot! Don't shoot! Marison! Oh shit! No! No! Marison! Go! 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 Marison! Stop! Marison! Run! 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 Someone shot! There was a gun! Who got shot? Somebody got shot! Somebody got shot!
Really armed to the teeth. This is not one person with a. This is a person with a Big Mac.
Is that a cop dead?
That's a cop down.
Dude, that's a cop down. Dude, that's a cop down.
Yeah. There's 4 cops down.
4?
Yeah, he shot 7 times.
It's a dude?
No, it's a sniper from up here somewhere.
It's a sniper?
You hear the shot?
When incidents like this occur, there's a big chunk of our fellow citizenry that feels as if, because of the color of their skin, they are not being treated the same. And that hurts.
Now, I want to take a look at the raw footage of Alton Sterling getting shot and killed by police in Baton Rouge. And I got to warn you that this is graphic video. So if you're not the kind of person that can stomach this type of stuff, you might want to turn your head for a moment. But I think it's important that we analyze the video because the death of Alton Sterling played a big role in, well, pissing off the Black Lives Matter movement. I mean, there was protest all across the nation, and it also led to the retaliation and murder of police officers in Dallas and Baton Rouge. Again, this is graphic video. Viewer discretion is advised. Police in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, responded to a 911 call about a man walking around waving a gun and threatening people. The altercation with Alton Sterling began shortly after the cops arrived. I mean, you can see there he's resisting arrest. The police officers, they had to throw him to the ground. He was trying to get the gun out of his pocket, and, well, the police had to deal with a life or death situation. The suspect was shot and killed on the spot. And you can see right there, they did indeed retrieve a gun from his pocket. Now, if you're one of those people who think that the officers reacted unjustly in this situation, I want you to stop and consider for a moment what it must be like to be in their shoes for a change. You think you could do that? I mean, these cops, we're talking about inner city cops, their job is to confront potentially dangerous and deadly situations day in and day out. Alton Sterling was portrayed by the media as an innocent guy, a father of 5 who was murdered on the bloody streets of Baton Rouge by white cops because he was black. But in reality, this guy was a career criminal. He was a street thug with a rap sheet a mile long. He was a danger to society. Check out this guy's criminal record. I mean, my God. Possession of illegal firearms again and again and again. Aggravated burglary on more than one occasion. Drug possession over and over. Public intimidation. Possession of stolen goods. He had several altercations and fights with police officers. Domestic abuse. Breaking and entering. And yes, he was a registered sex offender. And when the cops showed up, they knew he had a gun on him. And when he tried to pull it, they put him down.
Call for white people like myself to put ourselves in the shoes of those African American families who fear every time their children go somewhere, who have to have the talk about, how to really protect themselves when they're the ones who should be expecting protection from encounters with the police.
Barack Obama and Hillary Clinton are asking white Americans to put themselves in the shoes of African Americans to see what it's like to be racially profiled by police. I'd like to see Black Lives Matter do the same. Put yourselves in the cops' shoes.
If you saw that video, they pulled something like this from his pocket. Don't know if it was a gun, but I'm just about to show you naysayers who probably haven't had a lick of firearms training, whether or not somebody could actually shoot from their pockets. Here we go. Now I got on my shorts, okay? Bam, in my pocket. Here we go. Well, if I have my hands in my pocket, oh shit, I can still shoot from here. How about that? Or hands down at my side. Bam. How about that? I can still shoot from here. All I have to do is touch the trigger and shoot. And if I'm down on my back and I'm in a struggle, pow, pow, pow. You don't know what the you would do. So for those of you all who say the gun wasn't fully extended and drawn, you don't know a damn thing about guns.
And that was U.S. Army veteran Mike Brown in a video post on Facebook showing us the dangerous situation that the Baton Rouge police found themselves in when they had to confront Alton Sterling. I mean, all Sterling had to do was grab his pocket and fire off a few rounds. those cops were in immediate danger. What would you have done? Here's another video I want to share with you. Now, this is raw body cam footage shot by police in Savannah, Georgia. This is a routine traffic stop that turns deadly.
If you was on the right, yeah, where you came from, I must have missed you. But yeah, I put my blinkers on. I stopped at the stop sign, and I don't know why.
Okay, you got your license on you, partner?
I don't have my license on me. It's at my mama's house.
All right, do me a favor, turn off your car. Okay, that's fine. Turn off the car. Hand me the key. Yeah, I'm just gonna set it up here until we run your information and get it from there. Okay?
Okay.
What's your name?
Tyree, T-Y-R-I-E.
Last name?
Kyler, C-U-Y.
C-U-I?
C-U-Y.
Y?
L-E-R.
And spell your first name again?
Tyree, T-Y-R-I-E.
All right, is there anything in this car that we need to know about or worry about?
No, sir.
All right. Mind stepping out since you're acting a little nervous and stuff?
I'm not acting nervous, sir.
Yeah, you acting a little nervous. You was hesitant on handing me the key and everything, so go ahead and step out the vehicle.
No, I was not, sir.
Do me a favor, step out the vehicle. All right, I just want to make sure there's no weapons or anything. Do not be reaching in there, partner.
Reaching, sir.
Now you can see right there how quick this happened. Before you know it, the guy whips out a gun, shoots the officer, the cop goes down, and the suspect attempts to escape. The police return rapid fire. The suspect, 25-year-old Tyree Collier, was killed in the incident, and luckily, the officer survived. And it happened just like that. And, you know, that's what these cops deal with on a daily basis. And I think we all need to stop for a moment and think about what it's like to be in their shoes before we rush to judgment. And that's the problem I have with Black Lives Matter and the people who support their ideology, because it seems like they always rally behind the wrong guy. I mean, there's plenty of examples of cops abusing their power, using excessive force. There's lots of examples of police brutality. And yes, in some cases, cops are getting away with murder. But why rally behind a guy like Alton Sterling? I mean, that guy was street trash, and he should not be the poster child for racial profiling. I also think it's counterproductive to walk around yelling Black Lives Matter while threatening violence towards police.
Any protests over the deaths of these cops today in Baton Rouge?
I don't know that.
Any riots or protests over the police officers in Dallas, Texas?
What are you asking?
It's a pretty simple question.
Yeah, good question. And you know, I thought the news crew from Fox 10 in Phoenix, Arizona did a good job. You can see the video right there on YouTube, and we're going to show you a couple of short clips. But they invited one of the leaders of Black Lives Matter to a training session by police to see what it's like to be a cop in a dangerous situation where you have to make a split-second decision whether or not to shoot someone. Check this out.
Call about a possible burglar walking down the street. Maupin gets him on the ground. He's not complying.
I need you to keep your hands up, sir.
For what?
Because I need to check that waistband.
Well, why? What are you doing?
Because I don't know what you have under there.
Everybody, look at this guy.
He came clearly to do some harm to the officer, to my person. It's hard to make that call. It shakes you up.
So that guy changed his opinion after spending the day with the Maricopa County Sheriff's Department in Phoenix, Arizona. Again, you have to put yourself in their shoes. Now, I want to share another video. Now, this is a woman who was protesting police in Dallas with Black Lives Matter. She got shot in the leg, and, you know, that was during that horrific day. And when it was all said and done, she had a change of heart about the Dallas Police Department.
Police officers had started coming up the block. And one of them, I heard him when he said, "Is anybody hit?" I said, "Yes, sir, I'm hitting my leg." And that officer jumped on top of me and covered me and my son. I saw another officer saw another officer get shot right there in front of me. I'm so thankful for the Dallas Police Department.
Now, before we go, I want to read a message from Officer Montrell Jackson, who posted this on Facebook just days before he was fatally shot and killed in Baton Rouge. The city must and will get better. I'm working in these streets, so any protesters, officers, friends, family, or whoever, if you see me and need a hug or want to say a prayer, I got you. Finally, I personally want to send prayers out to everyone directly affected by this tragedy. These are trying times. Please don't let hate infect your heart. Montrell Jackson was 32 years old, a 10-year veteran of the Baton Rouge Police Department, and a proud father of a newborn son. In honor of Montrell Jackson, I want to end this report on a positive note, because regardless of what you see on TV, there is progress being made to unite the country, ladies and gentlemen. During a BLM protest in Dallas, a counter-protest started across the street. And then a representative from each group, well, they met in the middle and they joined forces. And before going home, they actually got together and they prayed for the city of Dallas together. And I'd like to think Montrell watched that moment from above, and I hope it put a big smile on his face.
The globalists have controlled the mainstream media for a long time, but now they're expanding, making the weaponization even more vicious and deceptive. All the major networks are state-run.
We are partnering this year with the NFL.
The NFL has become a political weapon against the Second Amendment and pushes Obamacare. MSNBC tells us that our children belong to the state.
We have to break through our kind of private idea that kids belong to their parents or kids belong to their families and recognize that kids belong to whole communities.
The brainwashing media machine has been turned up on high, and it's time for humanity to double down on the true people's media and strike back against the tyrants that are destroying our civilization with their lies and fraud. We are the resistance. You are the resistance. You are the Infowar. It is more important than ever to realize that we are not the alternative media. We are the true media. The establishment dinosaur press is dying.
We are in an information war, and we are losing that war.
Join us at InfoWarsNews.com and PrisonPlanet.tv. Members can share their memberships with up to 11 people. By subscribing, you will literally be buying war bonds in the info war to expand our operation in the face of the tyrants. Join us at PrisonPlanet.tv.